Hey, what's up? My name is Derek Mitchell, and in this video, I wanted to let you look over my shoulder as I work on a real project. This is actually a project for myself. So I've got a brand new course coming out. It's about portfolio building, how to create your own portfolio as a graphic designer and get you hired, what to include, how to make it, all that kind of stuff. And I'm really pumped about it. And now I need to make a thumbnail that represents this course. So this video is not really a one little tip or trick. It's basically the whole process. So I'm gonna let you look over my shoulder and we're gonna go ahead and dive in and get up and running quickly. But don't forget, you can click the button below to slow it down. Go to your settings in the video player. You can slow it way the heck down, or maybe you're already advanced and you just wanna see my workflow and you wanna speed it up. You can crank it up 2 times and hear me sound like a chipmunk. Could be fun. So what I'm going to do is show you real quick what the brief is and let you kind of wrap your mind around what I'm trying to do here, and then we're going to dive right in. So basically, I've got a ton of courses on Udemy and also on my own website here, and not to try and promote or sell you on these at all, but if you haven't taken them, you should definitely check them out. But anyway, this first graphic design bootcamp course, I go through and I show you the essentials of Photoshop and Illustrator, and this specific graphic is the reason why the rest of these all look the way they do. This was the very first one that I did. And so basically, now that I've started this brand with these colors and this, this kind of vector graphic looking approach to everything, I kind of want to continue with that brand. And so I've been trying to think of, okay, what do I want to do for this new portfolio builder course? How do I want the image to look? And in my mind, I thought of imagine like a mechanic holding a wrench, kind of like, just the hand, like a portfolio builder, or maybe a carpenter doing something. So that's the original thought to the icon that I want to drop into this. And then recently my wife and I did this 7-day productivity challenge course, and instead of an icon, it was a photo with text over the top. So I thought, okay, well, maybe I'll start using text in my thumbnails. So I could go either way. I'm not really sure how I want to do it yet, but I'm just going to jump in. I'm going to show you how I gather my assets and get to work. Now, because I've recently committed to launching a new YouTube video every Wednesday and Friday, I've got this new course I'm about to drop. I've got a lot of stuff going on. I really don't have time to just create something custom from scratch. So what I'm going to do is show you where I gather my assets, how I save them, and then we're going to get right to work. All right, so let's jump into elements.envato.com. And basically what this is, it's a subscription. I think it's like $20 a month. And I say I think because I've subscribed to this forever ago. But basically, it's a great spot to download all kinds of elements, from video to graphics, fonts, everything in between. So what I do is I just go right in here and make sure I'm logged into my account. And I was looking for a mechanic wrench just to kind of see, this is the exact imagery I kind of had in my mind, but just, vertically or holding it up in the air kind of a deal. So we've got some photos, we've got some 3D elements we could play with, all kinds of graphics. And as I scrolled through, oh, right there, I didn't see this the first time through. That is like literally exactly what I had in my mind. This is perfect. Okay, so what I'm going to do is just click on this little plus sign, and I've already got a folder with my name on it. So I'm just going to click add real quick. I probably should create a new collection just for this course so I don't get confused, but that's all right. I see these wrenches here, and I might be able to work with this and add it to that hand. So I'll click on the plus. We'll throw it in there. And then as I was scrolling through, I kind of did this before I hit record. I found this Gutenberg font, and I really liked it. So I already added it to my library and already downloaded it, but I'll download it again just to show you. So I'll click on the download button. I'm going to add it to my name to license it, basically. And we'll click add and download. And then, man, it's funny. I kind of pre-gamed this tutorial before I dove right in. And so what's funny is as I was looking through, I didn't even see those other couple fonts and these other couple graphics. So anyway, I got a new tab open here. That was another mechanic I found, but it wasn't quite right. There's the font. All right. And then this thing. So I found this by searching for carpenter, and I found these carpenter filled color icons. So I'll click on that, and this is actually perfect. And this is the original thought of how I wanted to build this thing. I saw this wrench, I saw this hammer, and so I went ahead and added it to my library, and I downloaded the graphics as well. So we'll do that again. And I'm going to, oh man. Okay, so what we're going to do, we're going to do the first version and then we'll circle back. So let's jump back into Finder. and I'm going to jump over to my Portfolio Builder course files. So these are how I organize all of my recordings for courses here. I'm going to make a global assets folder in here called artwork, and that's where I'm going to save all the artwork for this course. So I also have all of these assets I just downloaded. So what I'm going to do is throw these in here. I've got the font and I've got the other graphic. We'll unzip them. All right, so let's start with this font. Okay, so when you download the font file, this Gutenberg font, I've got an OTF file and a TTF, okay? So TTF stands for True Type Font. It's an older font version, and it's limited in what it can do. And then you've got OTF, which is an open type font. And if you need more clarification, just Google it. I'm sure somebody's got a better explanation than I do. But just basically, if you've got the OTF version available, highlight all of these, and I'm going to install them. I'll just hit Command O to open all of them. I'll click Install Font. And there's going to be a problem because I've already installed them. But anyway, all right, so that's how I'd install the font to come back to later. And then the next thing I want to do is take a look at these icons. So I've got all the PNGs to work with, and I also have the vector files as well. So I'll open these up in Illustrator. Oh, these are going to be perfect. I've got all kinds of graphics to work with. So we've got the graphics and the assets ready to go. Now I need to make my document. So I'm back in Photoshop. I'm making a thumbnail. So I'll click Create New. And because it's going to be for videos, because these are recorded video lessons, I need to make a new film and video document. So all across the top, Photoshop has all these defaults. I'll click on Film and Video. And the very first one, this HDTV 1080p, is perfect. If I click on it, it's going to set my width and my height, my resolution, and my color mode to be exactly what I need. I'll go ahead and click Create. And now I've got a blank canvas to work with. So something that I've done in the past is I use libraries. If you go to Window, down to Libraries, there it is. You can see this Libraries panel. And if you're not seeing what I'm looking at, let's go ahead and reset these Essentials. There we go. Reset my workspace to the Essentials workspace. So that way you and I are looking at the same thing. And I've got a ton of different libraries for all my different clients. And basically what it is as I get colors or font styles or images, I just throw them right into this window and it'll sync across all of the different applications in the Creative Cloud. It's super handy. It really speeds up your workflow. So what I'm going to do is I've got this background image and I'm going to select, let's start with the dark color here. I'm going to select it. It's now on the foreground of my color picker over here, this color swatch. I'm going to hit Option Delete. You can also go up to Edit, down to fill your background with that blue color we have selected. And then I want to make sure that I'm working in the right perspective or the right, what's the word? The sizing of this all matches. So I'm going to come over here and just copy this image, right click, copy image. We'll paste it into my desktop or into my artboard here and transform it up. And I'm not worried about it pixelating because I'm just dropping it in real quick just to get scale. And let's go ahead and drop in that background, that circle. So if I hit the letter U, I get my ellipse tool over here. And if you don't see that, click and hold, and then you can select whichever one you want. I'm going to click and start to drag and then hold down Shift to make it a perfect circle. And I'm still holding down Shift, I'm still holding down my mouse, and now I can hit the space bar to move this to get it right where I want it to be. So I'm just toggling on and off at the space bar here to get it close. It doesn't have to be exact, but getting it close. And I guess I could have actually opened up the original file I designed this with, but I'm just showing you how I would approach this project quick and fast. So plus I didn't want to go grab my other hard drive that had the file, but whatever. Anyway, all right, so we've got this ellipse. I'm going to hit Command A to select everything. You can also go up here to select all. So basically I've got these marching ants all the way around the canvas. I've got my ellipse tool select, or this layer selected, and with the move tool selected over here in my options bar, I can now align this horizontally and vertically to make it dead center in the canvas. I'll hit Command D to deselect or come up here right like that, and I can delete this background, or not this background, but that original whatever this was, the sample I had going on. Okay, and now I need to change the color of this ellipse so I can see it. So let's just grab a lighter blue color over here, and I just clicked right on it with that vector shape highlighted, and it went right to the light blue color. All right, so now what I want to do is jump back over into Illustrator and grab some of these elements here. I wanted the wrench, so I'll click on that, hit Command-C to copy it, jump over into Photoshop and paste it in there. I want to use a smart object so it scales up and it'll remember, instead of it being like flat pixels, it will actually be a vector object. So I can double click on this layer and mess with it in Illustrator later. All right, so next, let's go ahead and grab a hammer right here. Command-C to copy it. Jump back over into Photoshop and paste it in there. And the reason why I didn't scale it up the first time when I pasted the wrench is I wanted to paste these both in the same size, then select them both, and then transform them together just to make them scale up the same proportion. All right, so now let's select just the hammer, and we're going to flip it horizontally. And I like the idea, but I don't like how these are touching. There's some tension there, so I'm just going to scoot this over a little bit, and that's better. That's better. That'll get me there. Okay, so now I'm going to Command-click to select just these two layers, and I'm going to group them, Command-G to group, or click right down here to throw them in a group. Then I hit Command-A or select all. I want to highlight the whole canvas, and I want this group to be horizontally and vertically aligned. Now it feels a little bit off because technically, if I were to draw a shape, let's draw a different shape here. All right, if I were to draw a rectangle here and here, just to visually see that these shapes are the exact same size, you can see that the space between, if I visually, this margin between the two, it's dead center. But because this hammer, it just feels heavier on the top here because of the size of things. It just doesn't feel center. And this, where they overlap, if I were to draw a circle over this, like that. Let's change the color just for illustration purposes. You can see it's not dead center. So visually, like my eyes see this and it just doesn't feel balanced to me, even though technically the space on the left and the right is the exact same. So I'm actually going to nudge this over just a little bit, just to make it feel better to my eyes. We'll scale it up a little bit more. That's kind of cool. All right, and I'm happy with that. And I just realized I blitzed through this whole thing and I haven't even saved this thing yet. So we're going to save real quick. We'll call this Portfolio Builder Thumbnail. And let's throw this into this new course, Global Assets, Artwork. Boom. All right, we threw it in there. We'll hit save. Looking good. All right, so now what I want to do is I'm going to create some additional versions of this just to kind of see what I like better. So I'm going to twirl this down. I've got my background selected. I'm going to hit Command-J to jump cut this background. I'm going to Command-click this ellipse, and I'm just going to throw everything in this group right here. So we've got everything in one group. I'm going to delete this background, and we'll call this V1 as in version 1. We'll save it. Now I'm going to jump cut this again. So Command-J to jump cut everything. So if I twirl these down, you can see it duplicated every layer within that group. I'm going to call this V2. And now what I can do is actually come in here and mess with colors and just try some different things just to kind of see if I like something a little bit better. Now, one thing I just noticed as I'm blitzing through this, when you select a shape and I just click on the colors, it'll immediately apply that color. If I select on a regular layer like this, it won't just immediately apply that color. So what you need to do is come over here to Edit, Fill, or I use Option Delete, and fill with the foreground color, which because I selected it over here, it's going to be this foreground color. We'll click OK. And there we've got a new color version. Not my favorite, but it's something else to look at. Hit Command-J again on that main folder, and we'll rename this to V3. Let's change colors again. And actually this time I'm going to try something a little different. I'm going to sample this color, open it up, and just drag this down a little bit darker from this main blue color just to change the hue or the tone. That's not bad. All right, there's V3. Let's play a little bit further. We'll jump cut this. And this time I'm going to make it more like the original courses that I have. We'll fill this. We'll fill this. So that's basically the exact same background as my original boot camp course. And let's try Actually, I like that. Let me see here. Is that the exact same one I did? It is. I'm a dork. All right. So for this one, for V4, what we'll do then is we'll try it with a different icon in the middle. So we'll jump back over into Illustrator. And, oh, that could be cool. Just as an option. And we'll duplicate this one more time. And you can see how fast I'm working. And part of this is because, like, especially if you're working for a client, you don't want to have to sit here and, you know, spend hours hoping that they love what you work on, when in actuality what they wanted was something totally different. So by having lots of options, and I say lots, what I mean is like 3 to 4, it gives some option for them to give you feedback without spending a ton of time in the totally wrong direction. All right, so we got that. So version 5, we'll try another icon, and we'll call it good from here. All right, guys. So if you're still hanging with me, I realized, I've sensed in myself as I've been teaching this lesson, I'm trying some new things here. So I'm letting you look over my shoulder. I'm trying to not lose anybody by going really fast and, you know, saying, here's what I'm doing, and shortcut keys. And as I got into this, I realized I started not repeating the shortcut keys. And at that point, I'm just teaching you things as I'm working, so you can kind of look over my shoulder. So comment below what you prefer. Do you like it when I'm telling you every step along the way, or do you like just watching and that gives you enough of an idea? I don't want to annoy you. I also don't want to lose you either if you're getting stuck on things. So let me know what you prefer, whether I just kind of design and you're looking, or if I'm actually explicitly telling you every single step. All right, I hope that made sense. Cool, so we have some options here. I'm really happy with it. I'm gonna hold down the Option key and just click on these eyeballs. And by doing that, when I hold down Option, it selects just one layer at a time, or I can click and drag to highlight all of these. So I'm just kind of looking through, seeing what color options I've got. And now what I want to do is export these. So because I built in the same file and I didn't create multiple artboards, there's not really a good fast way to do this. There are some things I could experiment with, but by the time I showed you those, it's honestly just as fast to right click on the layer and go to Quick Export as PNG. And I'll throw that right in this folder. Right click here, Quick Export. And you'll notice it uses the layer name, which is nice. It'll save you time. Perfect. Okay, so now that I've got all of those exported, let's go ahead and come back and look at maybe some other options that I didn't really get into yet. So if I jump into my account, go down to my collections, let's take a look here. So I didn't really explore the font yet, and I might use these just in titles on the course. And I haven't explored these vintage wrenches. Let's go ahead and download that. And then I'm going to download this set as well. All right. And then we'll throw them into my global assets here for the course. Oh, that is not at all what I expected. Let me see what this is. Oh, okay. So basically that was a smart object, which is still cool, but it's not what I thought it was. Okay. All right. Well, moving on. So these are kind of cool, but they're not what I was thinking they were when I downloaded it. So I guess that's a good lesson for you. Like if you're going to start downloading things from different stock libraries, definitely pay attention to what it is, especially if you're buying that one piece for, you know, $10 or $20 or whatever. But that's why I like the Envato Elements library. And there's a link below where you can check it out. If you download it and subscribe, I actually get a little kickback as an affiliate, so I appreciate that. But I would refer it to you even if I was an affiliate. I've been using it for a long time, even before that. And I love being able to just download work and get things out quickly. And it's super helpful. So I hope you learned a ton. I know I flew through that, and I'm still kind of experimenting with my YouTube channel, how I teach on YouTube and what I teach, whether it's a quick little topic like how how to use the text tool, or whether it's something more in depth like this where it's a full project. So comment below what's your favorite, if you liked it, some feedback. I'd love your feedback. Also, don't forget to like, subscribe, hit the bell, all the things you got to do. And thanks so much for watching, guys. I will see you next Wednesday.